This stadium is Death Valley, but for the Tigers, Memorial Stadium is very much alive this evening. Senior night, and one of the most decorated classes in Clemson history is ready for another championship run. Welcome everybody to ACC football here on ESPN. Presented by Hampton, by Hilton. The Blue Devils of Duke committed a respectable 7-3 to take on the perfectly second-ranked Tigers of Clemson. With that, we say hi everybody and good evening. With Brian Greasy, I'm Steve Levy. Maybe the big college football shakeup is about to take place right in front of us here tonight. Hey, we know Clemson, their next couple of opponents are set. Carolina will come here next. Then it's Pittsburgh in the conference championship game. But Trevor Lawrence is all about the next two opponents after that in the playoff.
No question. The story in the ACC this year has been Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, Dabo Swinney made the move from Kelly Bryant. And this team has one goal this season. It's to win the national championship. And in order to do that, Trevor Lawrence has to continue to get better each and every week. Very talented player, but it's only his 7th start. He's got to continue to get better as they look towards championship season here at Clemson.
And yet everybody seems to know about the Clemson quarterback. We'll talk about the quarterback, the highly rated, highly respected Daniel Jones. But first, we are set for what Brett Musburger in 1985 called the most exciting 25 seconds in college football. On Daniel Jones. Todd, Mel had him number 2 on the quarterback board for the next draft.
Well, Mel was on to something. I got to be honest. I don't know that he's quite that high. We can get into it later. But Daniel Jones is a big quarterback, 6'5", 220 pounds. He's got a big-time arm. And you'll see tonight he's got better mobility than you would think for such a big quarterback. The thing I love about the situation for Jones is that he has David Cutcliffe coaching him. Spent a lot of time around the Mannings. This guy is going to understand the quarterback position, whether it's after this year or next year when he decides to go to the NFL draft. But tonight, he's got a heck of a challenge in front of him.
Could make the same point about Clemson. Daniel Jones is the best quarterback they will have faced to this point this season. Clemson Duke on a loud senior night from Death Valley next.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by the $5 Double Chalupa Box, only at Taco Bell. And Hulu. Watch your football games live all season long on your favorite channels, no cable required.
First night home game here at Clemson this season. And it would appear that the faithful are perfectly juiced up for what we expect to be an exciting night of college football. Duke has won the toss. They have deferred. Clemson will get the football first, and that will mean Trevor Lawrence. Darian Kendrick is back deep from the 3. All purpled out. And he'll bump into his teammate and be dropped at the 21-yard line. Don't be fooled by the Hollywood hair. He is the most un-Hollywood person ever, according to Dabo Swinney. Got great salad, lettuce, whatever you want to call it, and tremendous numbers. 19 touchdowns. Leads the ACC.
Make no mistake about it. Tonight, another opportunity for Trevor Lawrence. Just his 7th start. Every opportunity he has to come out and start a game, especially at night here at home, and continue to progress is a step in the right direction for number 16.
And to be blessed by having a back behind him like Travis Etienne. Lawrence comes out throwing and completing the T. Higgins on first down. It's first down yardage, and that's how the Tigers roll.
This Duke defense will be certainly without its top 4 players on the defensive side. They're playing starting 8, either true freshmen or sophomores tonight in this game. Certainly a challenge.
This time, give it to Etienne, trying to get to the edge, and he'll be Stop. It's a gain of 1. Down for the Todd McShay matchup.
Well, tonight, I think on this side of the ball, T. Higgins is a guy you have to watch out for. He's 6'4", 200 pounds, and he's going to be going up against a corner in Michael Carter, who's a good player, but only 5'10", 180 pounds, so a big size advantage for the vertical threat in Higgins.
On second down, Lawrence to throw again. The quick throw. It's Hunter Renfrow, and he'll be short of the marker. Michael Carter brought him down to bring a 3rd and 1.5.
It's nice recognition early from Trevor Lawrence. Hunter Renfrow was the only receiver to the trip side that was uncovered, didn't have press coverage on him, so you just raise up, give him the ball quickly, and we all know this young man, it's getting to late November, this is when he starts to show up big.
39th consecutive game with a reception. That is a new school record. Quick throw on 3rd and 1 is incomplete. Off the fingertips of Renfrow. Normally reliable there, can't bring it down, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, that's an interesting play call on 3rd and 1. I think you want to come out and establish the run game, the physical run game. This is a Duke defense that's given up in the last 3 games over 1,000 yards rushing. So an interesting decision from Clemson to throw the ball on 3rd and short.
And the Duke players were all saying, hey, we need to make 1 tackle to settle down and feel comfortable. Clemson able to get the 1st down on the first play, but 3 and out after that. Will Spires is back deep to punt. TJ Ramming will return for Duke. Ramming from the 9, bit of a hesitation, and that's where he is dropped. So Duke will start with rough field position after a 51-yard punt. Daniel Jones, you want to be in the NFL? You're going to face an NFL front 4 tonight.
Yeah, well, certainly when the NFL scouts watch the film from Daniel Jones, they're going to look at this one first. They want to see how he plays against the best, and there's no question this Clemson defense is among the best in the country.
As they often do, Jones with no one in the backfield with him. Quick throw, and that'll be the plan all night long. Daniel Helm, the tight end.
Well, Daniel Jones comes in as a very hot quarterback. You see his numbers from a week ago, probably the best game he's played for the Blue Devils.
Another quick throw. It's to Ramming. He'll be short of the 1st down. Kayvon Wallace makes the stop.
So, Leaves, we're going to see a couple things early from Duke offensively. As you mentioned, we're going to see a lot of empty formation, and you're going to be throwing the ball quick. That's how you neutralize a big defensive line like this. And then the other thing you're going to see is a lot of tempo. Try to get this big defensive line running, and you got to get the first down for that approach to work.
It's Deion Jackson in motion. Jones will roll that way. Jones looking to run for the 1st down. He will dive forward, and he has it. 3rd and 2. He got 3.
Yep, and now you'll see Duke ratchet up this tempo. You get that 1st down, and David Cutcliffe knows he has to use some strategies because he doesn't have the same kind of personnel, obviously, up front against this defensive line.
Again, that's Jackson in motion.
See some of this too from Daniel Jones, a very cerebral quarterback. He manages protections at the line of scrimmage, calls plays in the run and pass game.
Tell me who's not cerebral on this Duke club. Jones the throw, batted up in the air, and Christian Wilkins was blocked away from intercepting it by Daniel Jones. Dexter Lawrence got the hand up.
So one of the things they'll teach these defensive linemen against a quick passing game, you're not going to get to quarterback, but get your hands up. Great job by Dexter Lawrence. He hasn't had the same kind of pressure on the quarterback this year. His sacks numbers are not quite what they were, but he has been as influential on this defense as anybody.
Second down and 10. Deion Jackson, a straight run. Jackson is averaging 14 yards per touch. And he does a lot with the football, but that's over the last 3 games. He is the key to the offense going forward.
Well, he has those numbers touching the football. A lot of it is because of what he does as a receiver out of the backfield, more so than as a running back in
return game as well.
Yep.
3rd down and 8. try to avoid this all night. Play fake. Jones with some time. Throws, and Jonathan Lloyd coming back. It's actually a loss on the play. A.J. Terrell, excellent coverage, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, this Clemson defense, you might get them once for a 1st down, but they're gonna make adjustments. Brent Venables, one of the best in all of college football, with his scheme, knows exactly the strengths of his players, and I think they will get better as this game goes on against this Duke attack.
Amari Rodgers had a successful trip to Boston a week ago. Had a 58-yard punt return for a score. And he will signal for the fair catch. And Clemson will take over. Second opportunity at their own 35 after the 40-yard punt from Austin Parker. Scoreless early on, Clemson. Kind of you to notice, Adnan, thank you. Clemson off that win at BC, 27-7 last week. Clemson's defense able to knock out the Eagles starting quarterback in that first quarter. Etienne, the ball carrier. Duke does come in, Grease, you mentioned it. I mean, they're without their single four best players on defense. Their top 4 out of 11, all injured out of this game tonight.
I think you'll notice when you look at that defensive tackle, linebacker, corner, and safety, that's all 3 levels of the defense, and so they certainly have a tall task coming in to Memorial Stadium in this situation.
And Mark Gilbert, especially of all of them, he is the nationally recognized quarterback among the better corners in college football, and they'll miss him as Amari Rodgers makes the reception on Leonard Johnson. And of course they come in, there's no good time to come into Clemson with those injuries, but at a time when the Tigers are really humming on offense lately.
Yeah, certainly they're getting used to this new quarterback and the way that he operates this offense. It's a little bit different than they've had, obviously, with Kelly Bryant. More of a reliance throwing the football.
Here comes the pressure up the middle. Lawrence rolled and missed again. Cannot connect with Hunter Renfrow for the 2nd time on a 3rd down conversion. And it's another 4th down of that Duke defense, minus those 4 big guys. Opportunity knocks for somebody else.
Absolutely, and you see here Matt Guerrieri, a 29-year-old defensive coordinator. You see his first year, he takes over for Jim Knowles, who's now the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma State. Very smart, energetic young man, and David Cook, we're very excited about his future.
Spires boots it in the air from the 35. Ramming will drift back and take it at the 3. Try to make something out of nothing and will lean forward to the 15. There is a flag down. 2 flags. It's a 53-yard punt.
During the return, holding by number 96 of the return team. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
Chris Rumpf flag there. Well, Monday night, we've got 2 of the best teams in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes will lead the Chiefs against Jared Goff and the Rams. You can catch that game at every ESPN show on the ESPN app. To start your free trial of ESPN Plus today. You would think that one would need limited promotion.
Yeah.
That is the highlight of the NFL regular season to this point.
That's the only NFL game I actually put down on my schedule on my phone. You know, make sure I know. Sit at home with the kids and watch that one.
Must-see television.
It's going to get loud in this stadium. Backed up, Duke is inside their 10-yard line, and Daniel Jones is about to hear something he probably never heard before. A decibel level that's way up there.
The penalty is being forced from the end of the kick. The holding was during the return, but during the kick, it's half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
And Riley Johnson is our referee here tonight.
96.
They're spotting it at the 2-yard line. Got good protection. Looked everybody off and then threw to the right to Jonathan Lloyd, who could not bring it down. Terrell on the coverage. Todd, how loud is it down there?
It's loud, and the other thing is I'm standing about 5 yards behind Jones as he's trying to signal in the plays and let his teammates know what's going on. He's struggling with that. And then I'm just staring at these 4 defensive linemen and thinking, man, I'm glad I'm behind here in the goalpost.
calls for the snap. Off the play fake, able to complete to Davis Copenhaver. His tight end, Kendall Joseph, made the stop.
I think you see early on what David Cutcliffe, his approach, no matter where you are on the field, backed up inside your 5, the best thing that Duke does is throw the football with Daniel Jones. So no matter where you are, this game is going to be on his right arm.
Third down and 2. Swings it out to Deion Jackson. Has the first down. Isaiah Simmons knocks him out of bounds. Grease, I know it's early, but they do not appear to be fazed by the bright lights and the noise. They seem as cool and calm as they were when they met with us yesterday.
Yeah, certainly. And what do they have to lose, though, Leaves? Come in here, play your game, play with tempo, take your best shot. And if you're Daniel Jones, everybody knows you're up against it here.
They give us to Jackson. And he's going the wrong way, right into the heart of that defensive line of Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins.
The matchup on this side of the ball, really, you saw it on that last play with Jack Wallabaugh, the Ohio State transfer at center, number 50, going up against any one of these 3 defensive linemen in the interior, but Dexter Lawrence especially, he's giving up 50 pounds. We're going to need to see some double teams there.
Second down and 8. Again, great protection for Daniel Jones. Throws as a man wide open. It's Daniel Helm, the tight end at midfield. And Helm is into Clemson territory. Great protection from Jones leads to a 37-yard gain.
First adjustment from Brent Venables is he only rushed 3 and dropped 8, playing zone coverage back there. I don't think you're going to fool Daniel Jones. He's played enough football. And Brent Venables has coached enough football. These two are going to go at it all game long in that chess match. That time Jones figured it out.
Here's Jones again. He'll loft one. And he's got a man open, and it's knocked away at the last second. Was looking to go to Jarrett Garner. And he had it until the very end when Kayvon Wallace was able to knock it away.
Yeah, give credit to Kayvon Wallace. This is going to be a catch, Steve, if he doesn't come in with that left arm and rip the arm down. A little bit of a shot there by Jones, but that's the way the whole game's going to be for him. Great play by Kayvon Wallace.
Cleveland Furl got to him that time. On the ground is Deion Jackson for another first down. And this is a most impressive drive by the Blue Devils that started at their own 2.
And they need to keep this tempo going, right? This is their only chance against this Clemson defense is to get this tempo going, keep those guys, the big guys, on the field. Right now, Lawrence not out there, or Wilkins.
Straight handoff to Deion Jackson, right into the pile. And let me just get this out of the way right now. 99, Clelin Ferrell, one of the big stars. Everybody's been saying Ferrell. He was telling people just this week that he wants his last name pronounced Furl, as in referral. So that's what we'll go with the rest of the way.
Whatever he says, I'm doing.
Yeah, that's good enough for him. Good enough for us. 6'4", 265. One a youngster of 9. Second down and 9. It's Jackson making plays, and yet another first down. Chad Smith makes the stop. It's a gain of 10. They catching Clemson by surprise?
Well, Daniel Jones, yes. Daniel Jones getting hit on every play, but he's standing in there and making the throw, finding the open receiver. He may have to get to his second, third receiving option, but he's finding them consistently. And so far, Deion Jackson out of the backfield has been a mismatch problem for Clemson.
First and 10, Lawrence and Wilkins are back in. That's Jackson in motion. Backside pressure. Austin Bryant was coming, but there's a flag.
Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Robert Kraling, the redshirt sophomore. Duke trying to do something that no one else in the country has been able to do to Clemson.
From the 28.
Tigers have not allowed a first quarter touchdown all season long. Think about that for a second. Only team in the country.
notice that Clemson has been playing with no safety in the middle of the field pretty much on every single snap.
1st and 15 after the marker. Jones throwing and completing to Ramming, and he'll scoot out of bounds.
And the reason why they're playing with no safety, Steve, is they're not worried about the vertical passing game right now. They know that they have to throw the ball quick because of this defensive line, so they're playing the perimeter more so than the middle of the field. I'd be surprised if Duke tries to take a shot there soon.
Pressure, lofts one down the sideline, and again, Ramming unable to get to that one. Terrell running with him step for step.
And that's a good example of it. A quarterback can loft the ball up like this knowing there's no free safety back there, but Ramming just not physical enough to get around the corner. Terrell.
3rd down and 7. Clemson rushing just 3. Jones buying himself some time, and now he'll look to take off for the marker and won't get there. Isaiah Simmons came up to make the stop. It'll be 4th down.
He doesn't get the 1st down, but really impressed by Jones there, feeling the pressure, keeping his eyes downfield, stepping up and knowing when it was time to bail on that pocket.
It's a nice job by Simmons, too, Todd, to get that big quarterback on the ground. Simmons starting for the 1st season, taking over for Dorian O'Daniel. He's getting better and better each week on film as I've watched.
Here's Colin Wareham on to kick it out of the hold of Jackson Hubbard. This will be a 33-yard attempt for the 5th-year senior. On the way to give Duke the lead on senior night. That score will flash around the country. 3-0 Duke.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. For the best price guarantee, book at Hampton.com. And in part by Ford, we build things we're proud of.
Senior night here in Clemson, South Carolina. Dabo took care of his senior class and had to run all the way back up the hill. Dabo getting some extra exercise tonight to do the traditional run down the hill with the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors.
Those guys won 50 games for Dabo. Yeah. At least he can do his run back up the hill.
You know, every coach talks about, I love my senior class, and this was special, and this class really was something. If they win tonight, it'll be 51 victories. That would be an ACC record. In fact, all the FBS, only Alabama has had a couple of classes with 51 victories. The Crimson Tide class in 2014 had 53 wins. Think about that for a second. Kendrick from the goal line for Clemson. Trying to go the far side. There is a flag down. The Tigers will have the football. Again, trailing 3-0. Duke went 83 yards for a field goal.
Return, holding by the return team, number 18. Penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down, Clemson.
And that Duke scoring drive started from their own 2. Adnan Burke. Adnan, thank you.
How about that after last week, right? Losing by 1 to Oklahoma. What a great job by Mike Gundy.
And finally, you know, everybody's complaining, hey, can we get a shakeup in the top 10? Nobody in the top 10 lost a week ago. There is your top 10 loss with number 9, West Virginia going home, going down this week.
Well, I just think like such an emotional game Bedlam last week, and they go for 2 at the very end of the game, don't get it, and then you would anticipate maybe a letdown, come out flat, but what a great win for Mike Gundy and the Pokes.
Ohio State got all they could handle today in overtime with Maryland. Michigan was almost in trouble against Indiana too, Grease.
Thanks for letting me know.
Don't pretend you didn't realize that. ETN will run out of bounds, and the Citadel gave Bama all they could handle, at least at halftime anyway.
Triple option, the great equalizer.
And here it's 3-0 Duke.
Yeah, look at this. Dominated the first quarter of this football game. Like we said, scored for the first time on Clemson in this quarter, take the lead. It's early though.
Yeah, 3.5 to play in the first quarter. Check back in an hour. But don't go anywhere. Don't go away. See how this plays out together. Saturday night in Clemson, South Carolina. Lawrence throwing and completing to Mylan Richard. Brandon Hill made the stop. Important game for Brandon Hill for Duke. He is a South Carolina kid. Clemson offered him. I don't know how many kids pass on Clemson to play football and go to Duke. Hill said he wanted the education and the football, and he got it both as a Blue Devil.
Yeah, got his first start of his career last week against the University of North Carolina. Got to believe his feet have barely touched the ground so far.
3rd down and 6. Lawrence throwing, and it's knocked out of the hands of Amari Rodgers. He was thinking yak yards after the catch without securing it, and Ben Humphries, the emotional leader of that Duke defense, knocks it away.
Great job by Humphries. Not great position there. He's going to miss the tackle. Fortunate to get a paw on that football, but we had a chance to talk with Ben Humphries last night. A very impressive young man, and he's kind of been the glue that has kept this defense together with all the injuries.
How about this? Will Spires is punting for the 3rd time already, and he's punting from his own goal line. Duke should get excellent field position. It's a short punt. Punting has been an issue for Clemson. Ramming calls for the fair catch, and so Duke will take over at their own 49. Ben Humphries, he's the only senior starter on that defense. Everybody on that Blue Devils D making plays early on here at Clemson. Expedia reminds us that we are here in Memorial Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina, also known as Death Valley. Steve Levy, Brian Reese, and Todd McShay, with the Blue Devils of Duke leading by a score of 3-0, and Duke has the football at midfield. They have been impressive so far, especially on defense, and their scoring drive started at the 2. And wound up being a 34-yard field goal. On the ground, Deion Jackson running past people, and he's inside the 30-yard line. Denzel Johnson made the stop, and Jones took another hit.
Well, yeah, they're getting yardage in the run and pass game, but Daniel Jones is bearing the brunt of the damage because these defensive ends have been taught to hit him at the mesh point.
22 yards for Jackson on the last run. Here's Jones now, throwing against his body. It's batted down. Furl got the big hands up. That pass had no chance of being completed.
He was in a difficult spot, rolling against your throwing arm. This is very difficult. Ill-advised trying to squeeze that ball in. He's actually lucky that Furl knocked it away.
Here's Jonathan Lloyd for a loss. Christian Wilkins and Furl come up to make the stop. Seems like Clemson is taking things a little more seriously on this possession.
Well, it's like anything else, right? You have an opportunity to see a team for 2-3 series. Brent Venables gets a chance to talk to them on the sideline. They come up with a strategy and then execute it.
3rd and 13. Comes the blitz, picked up nicely. It's lofted. There was definitely some contact on Chris Taylor, the receiver. A.J. Terrell interfered.
Yeah, Terrell had a handful of jersey on Taylor, and that was an easy call for the official. It'll be a holding call and a 1st down for Duke.
Defensive pass interference. Ball be placed and spotted foul. Automatic 1st down. The fouling number was number 8 on the defense.
Dabo has seen his offense come out flat and have 3 3-and-outs, and now his defense with an untimely penalty.
Here's Jones, quarterback keeper.
Daniel Jones
on
the quarterback.
2nd and 4 situation.
If you're Duke now, you got to take advantage of these mistakes early. You have to get touchdowns, not field goals. Easier said than done against this front.
These fans, they came for a party, Grease. They came for a celebration. They did not come for a nail-biter and some drama. 2nd and 4. Jones trying to run it again. Won't get back to the line of scrimmage. Dexter Lawrence made sure of that, and then he lets you know about it. The flex. 3rd down as we hit the final minute, quarter number 1.
These 3rd down situations, typically Daniel Jones likes to find his trusted wide receiver, TJ Ramming. Normally lines up in the slot. He's not very big. You see him right there, number 3 at the top of the screen. Man-to-man across the board from Clemson.
That's Jackson at the top of your screen.
No safety in the middle of the field.
Jones trying to hook up with Ramming on the timing. Came out of his break a little late. And A.J. Terrell had the coverage. And some thoughts from Wilkins to Jones. Bit of a conversation. It's 4th down.
There's an opportunity here, an all-out blitz. And they knew they put their best defensive back in Terrell on Ramming. That's where he wanted to go with the football. Just better coverage than throw.
Here's Colin Wareham. He's a 5th-year senior, but this is the first year he's actually kicking the football. The walk-on hit earlier from 34. This from 32 to boost the Duke lead to 6-0 in favor of the Blue Devils. Bit of a contact lens issue for Daniel Jones. We've all been there.
He's been hit more in this game in the first quarter than probably he's been hit in the half of games. So David Cutcliffe, one of the best of all time, call him the Oracle with respect to quarterbacks, and you see his success. Certainly turned around this Duke Blue Devil program.
They'll go to a bowl game for the 6th time in the last 7 years. That's like the best stretch for Duke going back to the 60s. So he told a lot of funny stories about how things have changed. They wanted to go on game days into the beautiful chapel they have on campus there, and everybody's like, no, there are weddings in the chapel. Like any other place in a big football program, the football team comes first. Well, not way back when David Cutcliffe took over.
And I love how he said, you know, our field had all kinds of lines on it for soccer and for lacrosse and all these different things. And the quarterbacks and the receivers didn't know where to line up because there's too many lines. He's like, enough of that. I just want the gridiron lines, the old-fashioned way.
Right. And unfortunately, those weren't the only things on the football field he was worried about.
Some people used to walk the dogs, yes.
So it wasn't what you would think of a top-notch program at that point. But the turnaround's not complete, but it's headed in that direction. Kendrick will leap over a player or two. So this Clemson offense we have heard so much about has yet to put a point on the scoreboard. They came in averaging 46 points per game. And you see the rushing, not a single rushing yard this evening so far.
Dabo Swinney had a long talk with that offensive line on the sideline during that break, and you can guarantee that this offense is going to come out with a more physical mindset trying to run the football.
There's a rushing yard or two. It's Tavian Feaster, his first carry of the night. The junior from Spartansburg. The final seconds will tick down. That will do it. Raise your hand if you thought Duke would be shutting out Clemson after the first quarter tonight.
The Clemson Tigers came into this game averaging over 250 yards rushing a game. So far, they have not been able to find the holes against this Duke defense, who's come to play with effort and intensity here tonight in Death Valley. But we know Clemson, they're going to want to run the football. They have got to get Etienne and Feaster going. Last time Clemson trailed after the first quarter was the game against Alabama last year in the college football playoff. They trailed 10-0. Dabo told us about that. He said the key to that game was the opening kickoff, starting at the 9-yard line. Tavian Feaster has the first down.
Guys, also it's worth noting that Travis Etienne, the starting running back, is not on the field. And I saw after the last series, he came off the field and was hot. His teammates had to pull him away. He was screaming at somebody. He was frustrated from the lack of rushing, I assume. And again, still not on the field.
We'll watch for that.
Yeah, I got to keep their cool. You know, this is going to be a long game. Keep it cool.
There's Trevor Lawrence, quick throw of his own, and completing the T. Higgins. That first down run by Feaster marked the first down since the first play of the game by Clemson, and their only first downs as we hit the second quarter.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning, just for perspective, this Duke defense last week against North Carolina, they gave up 4 touchdowns in the first 6 possessions of that football game. But give them credit. They have not shied away from this challenge tonight. They've come to play.
That's Amari Rodgers in motion. On the ground. Feaster is rocked. Back to the line of scrimmage, maybe. Stopped by Lummy Young.
Lummy Young comes right off the edge, unblocked. And we talked about Brandon Hill and how much this game means to him, being a big fan of Clemson growing up. Same thing for Lummy Young. He didn't get a scholarship offer from these Clemson Tigers. He'll be fired up to play tonight.
He said he had to stop himself all week from singing the song, Hold That Tiger. He was a huge Clemson fan. Played his high school football some 16 miles from here. T. Higgins on the first down.
Boy, T. Higgins went down kind of awkward at the end of that play. Great throw and catch, but take a look at him at the end of the play here as he walks off the field gingerly. Look like he's okay.
Brandon Feaster on the tackle. Clemson across midfield for the first time tonight. Here's Lawrence to throw for Justin Ross. Has a step, and he's down just shy of the goal line. The big play, exactly what Clemson needed. The true freshman, Justin Ross, on the receiving end.
Steve, it's all about the release at the line of scrimmage. You mentioned for a true freshman to have this much poise at the line of scrimmage against a bump and run corner. You don't see that very often, but that play was made by his release.
First down and goal. Feaster squeezing through for the score. Touchdown Clemson. And we're tied for the moment. And a fine scoring drive for Clemson. 7 plays, 75 yards for the touchdown. Here's Greg Hugel, the 5th-year senior, out of the hold of Will Sweeney. Bit of an issue with that hold. Sweeney got it down, and Hugel got it through. Clemson's first lead of the night.
Justin Ross had 5 touchdowns coming into this game, and look at this release off the line of scrimmage. Physical with Feaster, gets behind him, and there's no stopping him once he gets into the second level. Clemson took a punch early in this football game, but has responded.
Back in Clemson, Pitt got their win today, and that will be the matchup in the ACC Championship game in Charlotte, December 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, over on ABC. Duke will get the football, trailing by a point, and will start at the 25-yard line. So Duke all-time is 3-30-2 against the top 5. Those 3 wins, 1938. They had the score against Pitt. Then in 1944, took care of Georgia Tech handily. And 1960, when Navy was ranked number 4 in the country, Duke won that game 1910.
That's the big one there.
All 3 games at home on Duke's home field.
Was Sonny Jurgensen back then?
Very much on the road. Ask Marty. TJ ramming out beyond the 30. Marty worked that game. He's worked every game. And then since then, his success has not been there against the top 5. Really, who has success against the top 5? And that's why they're the top 5. Deflected by Dexter Lawrence. And there is a flag down.
Well, it's a second deflection from Dex Lawrence. He got the message in that defensive line meeting room this week. If you can't get there, get your hands up. Almost forced an interception from Shaq Smith.
There's no foul for ineligible downfield. The ball was tipped. Second down.
And so Brent Venables has been preaching, get your hands up if you can't get to the quarterback.
Yeah, there's no question. You know, Dex Lawrence, he's not a pass rusher, right? He's a run stuffer. And so he's going to be at the line of scrimmage a lot of times. He's 6'4". And when he gets that big paw up, he can get some balls.
3rd and 3. Jones throwing on the run and completing the ramming. Out of bounds at the 40. And move the sticks. Again, cool and calm. I mentioned Brent Venables. He's playing hurt tonight, Grease.
Well, and Dabo, yeah, he is playing hurt. He's
the quarterback in practice.
He's the scout team quarterback. He just loves to do that. And yeah, he was throwing the ball in practice maybe a couple days ago, a week ago, and caught his finger, it looked like on a helmet, or one of the defensive guys rushing him. So, hey, sometimes you got to play hurt.
Our poor camera guys can't get a shot because he's constantly moving.
Well, he's getting an earful from Dabo, too. Dabo didn't like that last call. He put an all-out blitz on that 3rd down, and it was an easy completion to ramming. And Dabo let him hear about it.
And so in the excitement, Grease, they broke the chains, the 1st down chains on the far side. So we've got some new 1st down markers. The chain links are all connected now. It's 1st and 10. Here's Jones to throw, found a seam, and ramming couldn't haul it in. Todd.
Well, I think Venables is probably going to have to watch himself from getting frustrated at times because of this offense is being run by Duke. David Cutcliffe, we knew he was going to come in and he was going to run a lot of empty, get the ball out quickly, and there's frustration from Venables who's trying to get more pressure on the quarterback. It's tough to do when the ball comes out that fast.
2nd and 10. Daniels trying to step up in the pocket, and Daniel Jones is dropped by Christian Wilkins.
It's only a matter of time. You're not going to be able to block these guys forever, and especially one of the best in college football. He gets matched up on the right tackle, Kraling, and that is no match for Christian Wilkins. You don't need, I don't think, if you're Brent Venables, you don't need to bring pressure to get to the quarterback. You got the best defensive line in college football.
They get to him there without the pressure. Daniel Jones swung around, and finally he'll be dropped. Cleveland Ferrell knocks him down, and it's 4th down.
Maybe that's what Dabo was yelling at Brent Venables on the sideline. Why are you blitzing? You know who we have rushing, right? It's mismatches across the board. Kendall Joseph wasn't able to get him on the ground, but the effort from Ferrell gets the sack. And that's a fish, it looks like. It's a classic react with the fish.
Boston Parker gets some pressure, but he'll get it away. Amari Rodgers and pops up, and he catches it. Now trying to make something out of nothing. Could have been disastrous. And it winds up being just okay.
How's it fishing around these parts?
Not much of a fisherman myself. 54-yard punt.
Trevor Lawrence loves to fish.
They ask you what you're doing tonight, just tell them you've gone fishing.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Mazda, Feel Alive, and Burger King. Get 10 crispy chicken nuggets for just $1, only at Burger King.
But if you show up on that practice field tonight, you better be all in. So we're going all in, and I need these players to be all in, and we'll see what happens.
That was October 13, 2008. Dabo had just been promoted to interim head coach. Told everybody about all in. And each week, Dabo to this day gives the players all in poker chips. They drop their chips in a bucket before the game, showing they're all in for this one. Watch the celebration here at the end. Watch Cleveland Ferrell, the way he comes down. He instantly grabs that right leg, foot or ankle.
Yeah. Well,
is bizarre.
Looked like they were looking at his knee on the sideline. They're going to quickly get him under that tent. Hopefully.
He's got a smile on his face anyway.
I don't know if that was a smile or a grimace.
A little smile.
That would be good news.
Travis Etienne is back in the game. That's also good news for Clemson. And it'll bring up a third down.
And you mentioned that that press conference from 10 years ago with Dabo Swinney, and look how young he looked back then, and how much he's accomplished in a decade's time. And last week kind of consummated those 10 years. His first win was at BC,
yes.
And then last week that big win up there in the cold at BC was an emotional week for him, and certainly something that he could be proud of for many, many years.
3rd and 10. Protection is good for Lawrence. Now with some pressure. Throws, and Renfro can't come up with it. And he's down. That might be more frustration than injury. We'll see.
Well, he laid out for that football. And he's definitely down. Boy, in back-to-back series, defense and offensively, Farrell goes down, and then Renfro.
Yeah.
See if we can see when he lays out for this football, Steve. Does he come down on the football?
Let's hope
the
it's just
side
that.
of his head hits the ground.
All right, Adnan, thank you. Still attending to Hunter Renfro, and again, this is senior night here for Clemson, and he is the most celebrated of this senior class. As you see, his 43rd career start. That's the most by a wide receiver in school history. The touchdown catch to win the national championship a few years ago, and he is so popular. Got the loudest roar when they introduced the seniors. As you take another look.
Well, this is how he plays. Maximum effort, laying out, and his head comes down and hits the ground first. It's a scary, scary scene.
Still working on him on that Duke sideline. We'll be right back. Hunter Renfro. Nice applause here from the faithful who appreciate his efforts over his career at Clemson. And he headed straight for the Clemson locker room. As soon as we get an update on that, we will. Will Spires back for the punt. How was that not blocked? Maybe Duke got a piece of that Will Spires punt. And Duke will take over at their own 38.
You mentioned it. Josh Blackwell, number 31 for Duke, came right up the middle and had a great opportunity to get that football. I think this is him here. He's unblocked. They just run right by him. You're right. You got to go right up the middle and make sure you get that football if you're Blackwell. Missed opportunity for Duke.
So did somebody actually get a piece of that football, or just unable to extend the kick? Clemson's 4th punt in 5 possessions. I guess somebody must have gotten a piece of it, or else it would have been a flag on the play. So Duke comes out throwing, and they get half of it on 1st down. Daniel Jones to Noah Gray, his first catch of the night. As we wind under 10 minutes to go here in the first half. Clemson 7-6 over Duke. The Tigers have punted 4 times in their first 5 possessions. Daniel Jones had to hurry that one a bit, had pressure behind Jonathan Lloyd, his intended target.
Brings up a big 3rd down here again. Last 3rd down, last 2 3rd downs he has targeted ramming. Here's ramming with one man-to-man coverage on Trayvon Thompson in the slot.
Here's the pressure. Flag flies out and the pass is dropped. Dropped by Deion Jackson. Let's see if Clemson was offside.
Offside, defense number 99. That 5-yard penalty will result in a 1st down.
It's Furl a little too eager, Todd.
And listen, I just wonder at some point, all these body blows, are they going to add up on Daniel Jones? We're learning one thing about him tonight, though. He is a tough dude.
Well, Todd, you knew that he was going to take those shots when you signed up to play in this game, right? This is the best defensive line in the country. And in order to win this game, you're going to have to stand in there, make some throws, and take those shots.
Started out wearing white. He's going to be wearing green by the end of this night. Quick throw. Able to complete. Damon Filion Johnson, his first catch, and it's a gain of 7.
Well, the good news for Clemson is that there's good news and bad news. Cleveland Ferrell is back out there healthy, but he was offsides and gave him another first down on that last.
I always hate that option. Want the good or the bad first? Which one do you want? I like the bad first. Get that out of the way, then give me the good news.
Next time.
2nd and 3. Daniel Jones underneath. It's TJ Ramingler going to spot him short. His 5th reception of the night already.
They're going to wholesale change here on 3rd and short. They bring Daniel Jones out of the game. Look at this formation from Cutcliffe, the backup quarterback Quentin Harrison.
3rd down and 1. The umpire won't let him go. And now they will. Quentin Harris, the backup quarterback, able to get the first down and move the pile.
I think David Cutcliffe said, listen, Daniel Jones is taking enough shots. He doesn't need to do the sneak.
Right. Running behind Julian Santos for that first down.
I think they're going to measure this. They're not just going to automatically give it to him. See the hits on Daniel Jones tonight. He has held himself certainly up against this defensive front, but still a 1-point game. They're going to eventually have to make these plays down the field and get the ball in the end zone in this game. First down helps.
Got the new chains. Everything going all right on this drive for Duke. The NFL people must love this tape that they would pop in from this first half of Daniel Jones. You want to see him in adverse conditions. He's never faced anything like this before. Not here at night against this team.
So the area of the field where they may want to take a shot downfield, Deion Jackson in motion is a big play threat.
Jones running left, throwing across his body to Ramming. Not a lot of running room, and an outstanding tackle. Trayvon Mullen made the stop. Excellent tackle. Loss of 5 on the play.
This was a well-designed play. Wide receiver screen. They're going to pull the tackle out to block Mullen. Watch him get around the tackle, trailing, and then gets Ramming on the ground. Excellent job.
So 2nd and 15. Blitz right up the middle. Jones will loft one for Lloyd, and he can't bring it down. Isaiah Simmons was running with him step for step. 3rd and 15.
Brent Venables just can't help himself. He's going to continue to bring pressure. This time he brings both linebackers, and no time for Daniel Jones even to set his feet. He's just throwing that ball up to Lloyd, thinking he's got a mismatch on Isaiah Simmons, which he did, just not able to get enough time to make an accurate throw.
3rd and 15. Time to get loud, Death Valley. Jones under pressure, stays on his feet. Now we're trying to run for it. We'll get a lot of the yardage back. Wilkins brought him down in the end, about 5 yards short of the first down marker.
That was a big-time play from Daniel Jones. May be worth 3 points when it's all said and done. They were out of field goal range, and now he may give them an opportunity to attempt a field goal, or David Cutcliffe may just decide to go for it here on 4th down.
They are 4th and 4 at the 36 of Clemson. Offense will stay on the field. Thought about the quick kick, or at least faked it. Able to swing it to Jonathan Lloyd for the first down, but there is a flag down. We'll check the marker. Daniel Jones, who has punted 5 times in his career, faked the kick and then threw for the first down. And it's coming back.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. I really like that. You know,
offensive pass interference, number 5 on the offense. 15-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's Lloyd, the receiver.
You know, you get a quarterback in there, and they sometimes will pooch punt, quick kick, but I've never seen the fake pooch and then throw it. didn't seem to have much of an effect on Clemson defensively, and I think Jonathan Lloyd pushed off on Terrell on the outside. That's a good call.
Yeah, you got to respect that quick kick, because Jones has done it. Did it twice against Miami this season and nailed it inside the 10-yard line both times. On their side of midfield now. And the punt. And it will go into the end zone for a touchback. We'll step out. Still a one-point game here at Clemson. First down and 10. Amari Rodgers looking around for a flag on the contact from Michael Carter, and won't get one. So this defense we told you about, Grease, that is missing their 4 best players. They held Clemson to 7 points with 6 minutes to go before halftime.
You got to give them credit. They have been up to the task in the run game. Clemson has not been able to get anything going in that area, and that's really where their offense starts. When they play well, they run the football and the play action comes off of it.
Second and 10. Lawrence a throw, trying to zip one in there to T. Higgins. Couldn't bring it down.
And as good as Trevor Lawrence is, okay, as talented as he is, if you're a defensive coordinator, where do you want to put the game on Clemson's shoulders? You want to put it on the true freshman.
No question.
And that's exactly what Guerreri, the defensive coordinator for Duke, has done. He said, I'm going to take away the run game and force you to throw the football. And that's how we want to force you to try to win the game.
Guerreri looks like a true freshman himself. I'm not buying the 29 years old thing. Lawrence missed last 4. Third down and 10. And the ETN might have moved.
False start. Offense number 9. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And I got to be honest. In this first half, I have seen Dabo Swinney doing more coaching up and down the line of scrimmage with coaches, players, groups of players than I have all season long. He is going up and down, talking to the offensive line one time, then he's getting after guys that are making penalties. He's talking with Brent Venables. He's all over the place in the first half. I think it has everything to do with the fact that those 2 losses they've had the past 2 years in the regular season, trying to not nip it in the bud.
Third and 15. Lawrence can't connect with Amari Rodgers. Lawrence has looked off the mark tonight. He tried to go to Renfro a couple times. They could not connect. This Clemson offense seems out of sync. Now, credit that to Duke, but some of that's on the Tigers, too.
No question. And you're going to have situations like this. You know, when you have true freshmen playing quarterback, he's kind of off. And you're going to have that's Brandon Streeter, the quarterback there, talking to him. And you see Dabo is really animated on that sideline. But they had a situation like this before when they played Syracuse, Todd, and they had to overcome adversity.
Yeah, watching this, to me, Trevor Lawrence just doesn't seem like he's on tonight. Missing too many wide open receivers.
Punt from Spires is short. Again, the punting has been an issue for Clemson. Prior to tonight, maybe their only issue. Takes a Tigers bounce. 5th punt in 6 possessions. And Spires is bailed out by the roll. Will go down as a 45-yard punt. 1-point game. And thank you. I predict that people are calling their cable operators tonight saying, give me the Longhorn Network. I want to be able to watch that football game. Arguably the best matchup of the weekend. Arguably. See, Clemson, the only losses they have suffered last couple of years. Pittsburgh, Greasy and McShay were here for that. That might have been on them. And last year at Syracuse, a tough loss. That was without Kelly Bryant, if you recall. Here's Daniel Jones throwing sideline for Chris Taylor, and Trayvon Mullen had the coverage.
I think those 2 losses kind of stick in Dabo Swinney's mind, and he's trying to avoid that here in this game. You see him over here. This is with the offensive line. He's trying to be proactive with respect to getting these guys settled down. They have not played well in this first half. There's no question on either side of the football. He's trying to get them settled down.
Jones to throw. The Jonathan Lloyd took a high hit from Isaiah Simmons. Did not hang on to the football, but a flag came in.
You're going to look at targeting on Isaiah Simmons because that's a defenseless receiver.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 11. 15-yard penalty. It's an automatic first down, and that play is under further review.
They will look at it.
So remember, in this situation, right, you've got a receiver trying to catch the football, by definition a defensive receiver, and so any hit to the head or neck area, it has to be forcible contact to the head or neck area, by definition is targeting. Now the replay official will have to make this determination. Is that forcible or not?
It's a hand, right? It's a, we're so used to seeing a target with your crown or your helmet. That's a slap to the top of the helmet.
It doesn't have to do with the crown, right? Because this is a defenseless
I understand
receiver,
that.
right?
Usually it is. We're always talking about the crown of the helmet. That looked like a slap to the top of the helmet.
And again, this is just the definition of the rule. And that replay official, the only determination he needs to make at this point, was that forcible contact or not.
Tom Zamorski is our replay official.
Looked like he was trying to slap the football and just ended up hitting his head.
Chris, that can't be targeting.
Again, the spirit of this rule is these guys that are defenseless, that they're trying to protect that head and neck at all costs, right? And I agree with you. That to me does not characterize forcible contact.
After review, there's no foul for targeting. It'll be third down.
And time again, we see these defenders doing anything they can to get the football out, and they work hard all week long, and they deserve to be in these games. Unless it's clear, then I don't think you call targeting. But that was well done by the official.
Yes.
Let the replay booth fix it.
Yes. That is the idea. You make the call in anticipation, and then you clean it up on the back end, and the officials did. That pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Christian Wilkins got a hand on it.
I can't tell you how impactful this is, because you're probably not going to get to the quarterback. Christian Wilkins is double teamed. That was going to be a completion for a potential first down. Instead, you get off the field with the third time they've batted a ball down.
Wilkins and Lawrence keep getting those hands up. 27 pass attempts already for Daniel Jones, who threw it 54 times a week ago in the win over North Carolina. Amari Rodgers crashed into at the 20-yard line. Brandon Hill, the big special teams pop. And it stays a 7-6 game. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. All of us, thank you, Allstate. 5.5 to play in the first half. It's a 7-6 game.
Previous play is under the review.
So they're going to look at targeting on the return of that punt.
Well, you mentioned Brandon Hill came running down and laid a big stick on Amari Rodgers. And again, a punt returner by definition is a defenseless receiver. A defenseless player, excuse me. It's close.
Come back with a ruling after this.
After review, kicking team number 32 targeted the receiver. That's a personal foul. Targeting against the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down. Number 32 is disqualified.
So Brandon Hill is gone from the football game. South Carolina kid, tough blow for him.
And again, the ruling here, this is a defenseless player, and no matter what body part hits in that head or neck area, if it's forcible contact, they're going to call that. And whether you agree with it or not, That's the definition in the rule book as stated, and it's unfortunate for Brandon Hill and unfortunate for Duke because he is the replacement for Joe Giles Harris, their starting and best defensive player. So now they're down to their third team will linebacker playing the rest of this football game.
We'll watch for Jacob Morgenstern. See if he sees the field. 5 minutes to go here in the half. Flag down all that time, and it's going to come back and be holding on the offensive line for Clemson.
Holding, offense number 59, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Penalty on Gage Cervenka as this game has slowed to a crawl. Kobe Kwanzaa has checked in place of Brandon
The penalty
Hill.
is declined, third down.
And Gage Cervenka has been starting the last couple of games. He's been in there in place of Sean Pollard. He's had some issues with back spasms. Cervenka's also played some center. The interior of this Clemson offensive line, if you wanted to look for a chink in the armor for Clemson, it's been this interior of the offensive line, in my opinion, as you look forward to some of the people they may be playing in the future. That's an area they need to get better.
See if Duke's going to bring all that pressure. They'll just rush 4. Lawrence has missed his last 6. Drops that one in there, and then it is dropped. Darian Kendrick had the football in his hands and was thinking green grass and 6. Beauty of a ball for Lawrence is dropped.
It's his best throw of the night so far, and he did a great job too with the pre-snap read. He saw the cornerback was coming off the slot. The safety then worked down into that number 2 receiver, so he was able to put that ball up down the sideline. It's got to be caught.
True freshman from Rock Hill, South Carolina. And on 4th and 9. Will Spires, another punt, yet another punt. TJ Ramming, the fair catch. Adnan Verk, the update. And then thank you. So we asked Dabo about some of the issues, what's going on. He talked about the number 1 issue is the punting. And so we talked about, maybe we'll get into that story tonight. You said that's if Clemson does punt. They have punted 6 times already tonight on their first 7 possessions. 6 punts by Clemson, and we're not even at halftime. It's Britton Brown, the ball carrier, his first time.
22.
Trevor Lawrence coming over to your true freshman receiver there, classmate. Showing a little leadership.
Again, it's Britton Brown. Finally, Duke getting some people back. He missed the last 2 games, had a leg injury, an ankle injury earlier this season. But Cutcliffe likes to spread the wealth and spread the football to 3 running backs. Just hasn't had that luxury with people being injured.
Yeah, but he's not spreading the field anymore. He started the game that way, but they've really condensed.
On 3rd and 1. Nothing doing there. Britton Brown stopped for a loss. It's Dexter Lawrence. 4th down.
Who else in short yardage situations but Dex Lawrence? Here he is. And I don't care if you try to double team him. We talked about the matchup with Wallaball, the center, and he just whiffs. And a big stop. How big that stop is. If Duke goes down before half and gets points and runs out the clock, they take a lead into halftime. Now you give your offense a chance to get back a little bit momentum.
Here's Austin Parker. Able to get it away. Rogers, the fair catch. Clemson will start at their own 32. We said it earlier, Trevor Lawrence has been just off tonight.
He's been off. He's been high at times. He's also had to throw into some different looks. He's gotten confused at times, but all in all, he just looks a little bit off, a little bit rattled. And I can't tell you, we talk every week about, to me, one of the most important series for a quarterback is the series right before halftime, right? Because you can really develop momentum in the 2-minute drill. But look at that. I haven't seen that kind of drive chart for Clemson in the last 3-4 years.
Halftime adjustments figured to be key. Dabo might tear some paint off that locker room.
That'd be like Saban was earlier today.
On 1st down and 10. And that pass is dropped. So Lawrence is off, and his backs and receivers aren't helping him out either.
No. Back-to-back drops. Etienne, we mentioned that, right? Young players. He's just a true sophomore. He was vocal at the start of this game. Wasn't happy with the run game. And as soon as you start running your mouth, right, some of these things start to happen. That's when you have young players like this that are playing a lot of football for you. And where's the leadership coming from on offense right now? It's a question.
Got young wide receivers too, and their leader on the offense probably Hunter Renfrow, and we probably won't see him again tonight. Shaken up after trying to make a catch. Here's T. Higgins, first down yardage. 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Both teams still have all 3 timeouts remaining.
And if it were me, I would start to feed a steady diet to number 5 in purple. T. Higgins is by far their most talented wide receiver, and he hasn't got enough targets so far in this game.
From the 45, here's Lawrence to Amari Rodgers. Going to be short of the marker. Bring up a second and short. Duke will get the football to start the second half. On the ground, Etienne.
And off to Travis Etienne.
He has the first down. Trayvon McSwain made the stop as the clock will continue to wind after they spot the football. Etienne carried just 11 times at Boston College a week ago for 78 yards. They decided to win that game through the air last week. Rodgers lowering the shoulder. Knocked out at the 31.
Patient approach, right? 3 straight quick outs. 1 to T. Higgins and 2 to Rodgers, and that's just discipline. And that's good play calling on the offensive side by Tony Elliott. Just taking what the defense gives you. You don't have to be in a hurry. If they're going to give you the quick out, take it.
Can't believe how quiet this crowd is. They got 85,000 people in the building. They were rocking before the opening kickoff tonight. They did not expect to be in a one-point game with Duke. Over the middle and dropped. Braden Galloway could not hang on to it. Lummy Young was there to make sure.
Picture perfect play from Lummy Young. He sees the tight end, goes up to make the catch, hit him right in the chest. Don't go high, don't go low. Put your hat on the football and dislodge it. That's going to be on a training reel for Duke in the next season.
I put it on a training reel for the NCAA, too. That's the right way to make that play. That was Anderson on Anderson, by the way. Both from Anderson, South Carolina. Justin Ross taking on some people and diving forward for the first down. Gain of 12.
And a missed tackle from Ben Humphreys, the linebacker. Number 34 is going to make that play right there. You got to get him on the ground. And as a linebacker on a safety, you got to make that play. But Ross, 6'4", 215 pounds, not your normal wide receiver.
Under 90 ticks left in the half. Again, still all 3 timeouts remaining for both teams. Lawrence, back shoulder, touchdown. Justin Ross, the true freshman. Here's Hugel on for the extra point. Able to boot it through. Things will calm down a little bit now. 14-6 Clemson.
Well, we talked with Jeff Scott, the offensive coordinator, along with Tony Elliott yesterday, and they mentioned this young man, Justin Ross, true freshman, that he might be one of the next great ones to come through. They've had some unbelievable ones, Sammy Watkins, Mike Williams, and others. But the combination that they have with T. Higgins and Justin Ross, as he begins to get hot towards the end of the season, is a dynamic one.
So the guys wearing the T-shirts, wide receiver U, WRU, in pregame warm-ups, and things again start to settle down. It'll be interesting to see how Duke now responds after playing a heck of a football game at this point.
Yeah, certainly. They could not have played much better outside of that last drive, but a minute and 16 left with all three timeouts. Maybe they can go down and get something on the board before half.
This would be a statement as Clemson makes one with the 14-6 lead with a minute 16 to go. So Clemson has had 8 possessions, 6 punts, and the 2 touchdowns on long scoring drives. Here's Deion Jackson, his first return. He's able to get it out to the 22. Here's Adnan.
Yeah, and then tell Joey we're coming for him.
Text messages might be exchanged this week, I imagine. All right, Daniel Jones, what do you got? He's got pressure right in his face, lofts one, and nearly intercepted. Isaiah Simmons running with Jonathan Lloyd.
So, Steve, Duke needs to make the adjustment here. That's the 3rd time that this has been the answer against an all-out pressure, and the 3rd time that there's been a disconnect between Jones and the receiver. They need to run shorter routes when there's all-out pressure rather than throwing the ball down the field.
Jones, quick throw out to the far side and finds Deion Jackson, the running back, has 14 catches on the season, converted wide receiver to running back.
They feel like anytime they get this matchup, what you see on Tanner Muse' safety on Jones, that is a clear mismatch for Duke.
Ball start. Offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Christian Harris, the 5th-year senior. Duke is the least penalized team in the ACC. 3rd and 9. Shot down the sideline. Trying to get Jackson on the wheel route there. And Shaq Smith, who's quietly had a very nice first half. Shaq Smith has. And his 4th down.
Clemson was very fortunate. There was a mix-up between Tanner Muse and Shaq Smith. Shaq Smith didn't know if he was going out there to cover him. He reacts late. And Deion Jackson not able to bring that football down, but a little bit of miscommunication in secondary.
So Duke is slowed down. That's 3 consecutive 3-and-outs now. And full marks to the Clemson defense who have figured things out. There's Austin Parker. Amari Rogers, fair catch and a flag at the 35 with 50 seconds left in the first half.
During the kick, holding, return team number 34. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down.
While you ponder that, tomorrow start your day off with NFL Countdown. Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff. We'll talk about Monday night's big matchups. The Chiefs and the Rams. Don't miss that game right here on Monday night. Chiefs and Rams, that should be something. Coverage kicks off 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. That looked like a Super Bowl preview.
See what you did there, ponder that. You weren't going for that?
For the Sam Ponder thing?
Yes.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, see, I give you too much credit.
I got it anyway. I think that's the point.
No,
that subliminally,
you do not get credit.
I got it without trying. See? That's how that works.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
Broken clock is right twice a day, Grease. 47 seconds left on this clock. Trevion Thompson on the receiving end. Interesting to see how Clemson plays this. Still with all 3 timeouts. Why not?
Yeah, at least a field goal. But yeah, push the ball. Now all of a sudden your quarterback has settled in. He was perfect on that last drive. Continue to take what the defense gives you.
Gain of 14 there. And all this while Hunter Renfrow is attended to in the Clemson locker room.
Sees a blitz there. Now he's changing the protection, knowing that there's going to be pressure off the edge.
Pressure is picked up nicely by Etienne. And it's Kendrick on the receiving end. Excellent stop by Jordan Hayes. It's a short game and a timeout.
Yeah, use your timeout. This is something that we've been seeing now a little bit more from Trevor Lawrence. You see, he's managing the protection, knowing that he's got problems over here with pressure. Watch the line slide that way, and then ATN come and take the late hit off the quarterback. That is what the craft of playing quarterback is all about, is protecting yourself, knowing how you're protected, and young Trevor Lawrence getting better and better each week.
This season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like the Clemson Tigers by awarding the best student section of the year. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to find out if your team made this week's rankings and to see how your school can compete. Lawrence got a lot of love for one particular play last week when he was able to slide the protection and able to complete to Renfro for 35 yards. That had the coaches oohing and eyeing, like most true freshmen are not making that play.
And it's a lot of what the regular fan watching doesn't see. They don't know that he does these kinds of things and that play doesn't happen unless he makes the right call and the right protection.
Seems to have everything else. Here's Lawrence looking for some more and overshot his intended target, T. Higgins. 3rd down and 6.
This is why I love this sky cam angle. Take a look at this, Steve. You're going to play quarterback, sit back here in the pocket. You see your receiver on the left side. Now you got to lead him into the middle of the field, just a little bit high, right?
Yeah.
But that's playing quarterback, is being on the same page, and that's why you rep so much with your receivers to know exactly how they're going to come out of a break, flat or high, based off of a defensive look, and that's just reps. This kid has all the ability in the world. I think he just needs more and more time with these receivers.
Tough night so far on 3rd down. And again, his receivers and backs have not made plays for him. Quite a few drops. Under pressure. Lawrence hit as he throws, and he got it away. Leonard Johnson was coming on the blitz. And it's 4th down.
Yeah, he didn't see this one. He's seen a bunch of them, but here he comes, Johnson, right off the edge, late. And ETN will only take one of them, and it looked like he felt him. He started to slide away from it, but a big stop for Duke before the half.
7th punt upcoming by Clemson. Spires punted all of 6 times last week, the entire game. This will be a 7th punt as we approach halftime.
You know, Boston College blitzed Trevor Lawrence a ton last week, and they confused him at times. And young Matt Guerrieri taking a similar approach here with Duke in this first half defensively.
Spires looking for the bounce, and he gets it. TJ Ramming will run away. That's our 13th punt of the game as we approach halftime. And we're back in 30 seconds. Brian has pointed to his knee. What could that possibly mean? You think he's going to take a deep shot here, Grease? No, they're not going to take a knee. They'll put it on the ground. See if Deion Jackson can pop one.
Well, you can't take a knee out of the shotgun because all the offensive linemen get upset because you lose 4 yards when you do that.
Right.
But nobody can take a snap anymore, so they got to hand it off.
Should have pointed to a handoff. That's it. Zeros on the clock. Been a bit of a punt fest. Again, 13 punts in this half. Clemson was trailing 6-0 in this game. 14 unanswered. As you said, Dabo's been coaching more than you have seen on the sideline in that first half. We've seen maybe all season long. Down to the field. Here's Todd.
Coach, 14 punts in the first half. How do you get things going offensively?
Well, we got to convert on 3rd down. I mean, we've been atrocious on 3rd down. We came out, missed the first 2 3rd and 2s, had a couple plays there, just missed them, but we just got to settle in. I mean, give them some credit, man. They're playing really well. We were fortunate to hit a couple big plays, but they just kind of outplayed us right there. But we got to do a better job on 3rd down. That's the main thing.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Thoughts from Dabo Swinney at the half. Halftime, Clemson leads by 8. Of course they do. See you for the second half. First, take a look at Adnan, Joey, and Jesse. 45 degrees on a cool Saturday night in Clemson. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. College football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. If I would have told you 14-6 at halftime The boys had to struggle to find highlights of this one.
Yeah, and this Duke defense has come to play in the run game in particular. In 3 straight games, they've given up over 300 yards rushing. Tonight, only 17 to Clemson, but Clemson has made a couple of plays, specifically this one to Ross, to lead this football game.
Duke will get the football first to start the second half.
Really great ceremony at halftime, honoring all the fallen vets here.
Yes.
Great tradition at Clemson and the military. Really well done by all the folks here in Death Valley.
We'll show you some highlights of that. A lot of places do a military appreciation night. They really do it well here at Clemson. Deion Jackson from the goal line. And he'll get out just shy of the 20-yard line. Steve Lee with Brian Greasy. Todd McShay will join us from the field shortly. So a most un-Clemson-like performance in that first half. 9 possessions, 7 punts. They're fortunate to be winning this football game, really.
Well, it's because of their defense, right? Their defense has given up yards, but they haven't given up a touchdown. Just 2 field goals. And that's the way it's been for a lot of the years that these guys, Dexter Lawrence, Christian Wilkins, have been here. And certainly this offense needs to get something going for Clemson.
This senior class trying to win their 51st game as a Tiger. Just too tall for Chris Taylor, who goes 6'1", 185. And still, as we open up third quarter action in a 1-score game. And look, full marks to Duke. You know, they come in to a bit of a gaudy record, 7-3. That's more than just respectable in a down year in the ACC. Deion Jackson trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. They bring up a second down.
It seemed like they wanted to come out and go faster right away, and it looked like initially they got Clemson kind of off guard, because Clemson's always looking over the sideline, right? Brett Venables, the coordinator, who's animated. He's got the get-back coach, and sometimes you can catch them off guard, but it didn't work there.
He's animated, and he's getting back right there. Perfect timing. Third down and 10, although we could have cut to him anytime and gotten that reaction. Jones will take a shot. Again, looking for Chris Taylor. Trayvon Mullen had the coverage, the junior from Fort Lauderdale.
You know, if you're Duke, you're kind of caught in between a rock and a hard place here. You want to take some shots down the field because you know you're not going to have a 12, 14-play drive against Clemson's defense. But when you try to throw those shots down the field, you need some time for Daniel Jones, and they just don't have that consistently enough to be accurate down the field.
Starting to wear out their punter as well, Austin Parker. This will be punt 14 of the night. He'll come out of the locker room after halftime. Maury Rogers to make a few people miss. He'll be stopped, and Clemson will start at the 39-yard line as Rogers gets up slowly. I mentioned the senior class for Clemson. Hard to ask for more. A 50-4 record. Think about that for a second. 3 straight ACC championships, 3 straight college football playoff appearances, 2016 national champions. And if things go as just about everybody expects, they'll be back in the playoff and potentially fighting for another national championship again. And Clemson will start with their best field position of the night at their own 39-yard line. Here's Etienne ripping one off across midfield and brought down at the 41-yard line. Clemson had 17 yards rushing in the first half. That's their fewest in 7 years. That one was for 20.
Yeah, and you know that they were in the locker room at halftime, and Jeff Scott drawing up some run plays in there, getting the adjustments made. In order to win the college football national championship, you got to be able to make these kinds of adjustments.
Here's Lawrence going to try to carry the football. He swung around and hit by Ben Humphreys and company.
You know, you showed that senior class, and I can't help but, mention again the fact that Hunter Renfrow just joined us early in this game, went down hard, hit his head on the ground, looked like an apparent concussion, and it doesn't look like he's going to return in this football game, but his career is going to go down in the history of Clemson football, and the relationship that he's had with this fan base has been special. It's been different, and we just hope that he has a speedy recovery.
He's been reminiscing with the coaches all week. He's even joking about how, you remember that wide receiver class I came in with? 4 scholarship guys and a walk-on.
Yep.
course, he was the one to walk on. 3 of the scholarship players left. Travion Thompson, the other one who remains. And trying to go to him on a 3rd down. We've seen it a million times.
Yeah. Well, and he is not just only, hasn't just been the big plays he's made, and he's made the biggest plays in the biggest moments, we know that. But I think he's been an example for Dabo Swinney to set the culture, right? That the best players are going to play, no matter where they're recruited from, how many stars they have, they're going to play, and he's been an example of that.
Amari Rogers has 1st down yardage, working on Brandon Feimster. And when we were talking with Matt Guerrieri, the defense coordinator, he said if any player on Clemson's multi-talented roster, if he could have one of those guys on offense, he said Hunter Renfrow would be the guy. He's not the burner, not big down the field, but when you needed a big play, a big catch, it was always Renfrow.
He's going to play on Sunday, Steve. Yeah. There are enough GMs in the NFL that will make that decision.
Here's Travis Etienne. 1st down and 6 points for the touchdown. And the Tigers will increase their lead.
We'll look at the big right tackle, Tremaine Ankrum. He's going to come up on the linebacker on the 2nd level. Looked like he may have got away with a hold right there on Kwanzaa, the backup linebacker. Clearly had his hand out on the jersey, but Travis Etienne with 2 big runs on that drive to establish the run game early in the 2nd half.
Good on T. Higgins, the wide receiver, blocking down the field as well for his partner. 5 plays, 61 yards, 141. Well, minute 41. You get the idea of a 27-yard rush. Travis Etienne. He is so explosive. Well, it feels like Renfro's been around here forever. Etienne's only a sophomore. Back at Frank Howard Field at Clemson Memorial Stadium on Military Appreciation Night here at Clemson. Look at the coaching staff of Clemson, all wearing fatigue pants. There's a real special bond between this university and our military. This was the scene at halftime that Grease alluded to. They allow everyone who has been a member of the military to come onto the field. It's all by the honor system. They invite everybody down on the field. And there you can see the support. The place was silent. Could hear a pin drop throughout the 21-gun salute. And emotions like the salutes were high.
Really, really cool. Really great ceremony at halftime. And, you know, this place in Texas A&M, right?
Yeah.
The 2 places that, right, when we go on visits around college football, have the closest connection with our military, and it's pretty special.
Quick completion. Dabo said earlier this week he thinks only Texas A&M has more officers from World War II than Clemson does. Clemson was a military school until 1955, and this is Dabo's reason for all purple. They save it for a special military appreciation night every year in November, or against another school with a military background. And that's, you know, Dabo's serious about things meaning things, and that's the meaning of the all purple in a game like tonight. A salute to service, indeed. Third down and 1. Jones will keep it. How's your mesh point? He pulled it out of Deion Jackson's belly.
Well, if you're Clemson's got so much talent that they take the mesh point, they take both guys, the quarterback and the running back, and that time Daniel Jones just able to get across the 35-yard line, Todd.
Well, Jones starting to limp a little bit. Uniform looks like a crime scene.
And on first down, it's Britton Brown. That first down that the Duke was able to get, their first down dating back to early in the second quarter.
That's the uniform of a competitor right there. That's what I see. And yeah, he is limping around. So part of his game is running. He had over 100 yards rushing a week ago in the win over North Carolina for the victory bell. So not a part of his game tonight.
Daniel Jones, quick throw to Daniel Helm. and he's got the first down. His third catch. So David Cutcliffe said he's finally able to have real football conversations with Daniel Jones. I said, well, when did that actually start? He said, well, we got into it on the sideline during the Georgia Tech game. And then we got Jones's side of the story. And he said, in essence, he questioned my toughness, my manhood. No one's ever done that. And he's shown he is plenty tough tonight. Here's Britton Brown on a big gain on second down.
Yeah, but that was a turning point in their relationship last year, and that's important. That coach-quarterback relationship, we know, as Coach Cutcliffe has been one of the best in the history of college football, coaching quarterbacks. And he said after that I could really begin to talk to him and visualize the game. And Coach Cut always likes his quarterbacks, all the way back to Peyton, to visualize the game. Not to be on the grease board or on the video screen, but to be able to have the conversation in your head and look at certain schemes and certain checks and go through the whole game in your head. And finally, Daniel Jones now able to do that this year.
First down and 10. They're across midfield.
This is part of it here, making checks at the line of scrimmage.
Under some pressure, trying to escape, and he won't be. He'll be taken down right in the logo by Cleveland Ferrell.
This was a check at the line of scrimmage from Daniel Jones, and he should have thrown the ball on the outside to Lloyd. He had a hitch route. It was there. He looked that way. There he is right here. He's just going to run the hitch route, and he's open for the throw. He looks that way, doesn't throw it, and ends up getting sacked. And that's just going through these plays and all the checks and every outlet, and he didn't find it that time.
Here's Jones throwing and completing. What a catch. Damon Philyaw-Johnson able to bring it down.
I don't know how he fit this ball in. What an amazing throw here by Jones. I mean, tight window, anticipated the throw, and gets it in there. A really good catch, obviously. Contested.
Yeah, Todd, he's a sitting duck back there now. You got to be careful if you're Duke. You know, this kid has played his heart out, but he's not real mobile right now. You need to get a little more protection.
Rare they have a back in the backfield with him, and they handed to Britton Brown, and he's got first down yardage. So, Todd, I'm curious, Mel had him at number 2. You had him at 6. What does Mel know that you don't?
Well, this is what Kuiper does. This is what Kuiper does. He likes to get a splash, especially if he's on Monday Night Football. So he's going to put him all the way up to 2 to get some attention. But, no, quite honestly, watched a lot of tape of him this week. Watched some with Grease. There's a lot of things to like about his game. He's not a complete quarterback at this point, but the toughness and then the mental aptitude are really intriguing for the next level.
Here is Jones now. Good pocket, feels some pressure, trying to get out of there, and he'll be dropped. Sent flying backwards. Tanner Muse, the free safety, will drop him.
Yeah, there's not a lot of complete quarterbacks, Todd. I don't believe in college football this year, and I think that's probably the reason why Daniel Jones is becoming more attractive, because the NFL is starving for quarterbacks, and this kid looks like he's got a little something to him, but I think they need to figure out exactly what he has.
5th sack of the night by this Tigers defense. And let's see who jumped. Jones told us they changed the cadence just for this week. Let's see if he caught Clemson.
Offside, defense, number 67 with contact. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Just to put a wrap on this with the NFL draft and Jones, it's one thing that there's not a lot of quarterbacks, so it becomes enticing to leave early. But remember, Jones has another year where he could go back and develop, and I think it's more about being ready when you get to the NFL than exploiting a bad quarterback class.
Yeah.
2nd and 7. Running away from Austin Bryant. Jonathan Lloyd, usually dependable, 5th-year senior, could not hang on to it there. We asked Jones about watching on Monday Night Football. And this is not a great promo for the game, but he said he was sleeping, and somebody called him the next day and told him what Mel Kiper Jr. has said. He won't be sleeping this Monday night.
Yeah, what was the matchup last week?
Giants-Niners, was it?
Oh, I can't blame him.
Grease. Every NFL game's a good game, you know that. 3rd down and 7. The Chiefs-Rams this Monday night. Nobody's sleeping. Ball batted away. That's 5 or 6 balls knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think Clemson knew coming into this game that, listen, they're not going to be able to block our guys, so they're going to throw the ball quick. And if they're going to throw the ball quick, everybody get their hands up. We've seen Dexter Lawrence twice. We've seen Wilkins a couple of times, and now Trey Lamar gets another tip pass to force the field goal attempt. Some confusion out there on the Duke sideline. Only 10 guys on the field. It looked like Brock Chambers, the right guard, not on the field.
It's Colin Wareham from 43. All the way, and it is no good. Missed it to the right. Wareham missed a couple of field goals last week. And a 14-play drive. And a whole lot of pain for Daniel Jones. Leads to no points for the Blue Devils.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar and Chevy. Chevy has earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs.
You can check out our alternate angle Xfinity Skycam coverage of the game, streaming live on the ESPN app and on Xfinity X1.
My favorite way to watch the game. It gives you the quarterback's viewpoint. You know, you can see the defense as he sees it.
Trevor Lawrence. He's looking at Justin Ross to bail him out and make the grab.
See the rushing yards in the first half versus them getting it going on the last drive. But looks like Trevor Lawrence a little bit off tonight. His accuracy, which has been good throughout the course of the season, especially on the deep throws, but the intermediate and the short stuff tonight has been a little bit off. We'll look a little bit at his mechanics later on in this game to see how he throws the ball and maybe how Daniel Jones throws the ball. There's some things I noticed with their delivery and release that they probably need to work on as they get older for Trevor in college, and as Daniel Jones begins to get ready for the draft. I think they need to shorten that delivery. They've got a really long windup right now, and they're 6'6" and 6'5" respectively, so it's natural that they'll have to work on shortening that up.
And he has so much talent around him. That's TJ Chase in motion, top of your screen now. One clap, and Lawrence has the football. Down the sideline, looking for a man, and it's Kendrick. He's able to hang on to that one. Darian Kendrick, who dropped the sure touchdown pass earlier, able to hang on to that one. It's a gain of 32.
Yeah, nice job by Kendrick coming back. He had that big drop. This time it's better coverage, actually. This ball's thrown perfectly on the outside. I really like the touch with which Trevor Lawrence throws the ball down the field, and Kendrick, not a big receiver.
First down, Tigers.
Physical at the top. Really well done.
Working on Brandon Feemster. Maybe Lawrence heard you talking about his mechanics.
Still needs to work.
It's going to fix some things. Quick screen out to TJ Chase. His first touch of the football. Second down and short upcoming.
Well, here's what I'm talking about. Look at him in pregame and look at this mechanic. The ball kind of comes down and then loops around and goes out, right? So and that's natural for a big, tall, young, strapping young man. But the ball in the NFL, it's about how fast does it get out. It can't go below that line, okay? It needs to stay high, which will allow him to get the ball out faster. He's not going to have an issue with that playing at Clemson in college, but he will have an issue with that playing in the NFL.
Fortunately, he's got a few years to work on it. Here's Lynn J. Dixon, his first carry, and that will go for a loss. Brandon Feemster came up to make the tackle.
Boy, and Ben Humphries, the Mike linebacker, the senior captain for Duke, and really the only glue keeping this defense together, comes up gimpy on that last play.
While he's attended to, we'll step away. Be right back. That won't be the final score there in that game. Xander Gagnon has checked in, placing the injured Ben Humphries. Third and short 2. Etienne rips one up the middle. Travis Etienne! Touchdown! Doing it by himself!
This is just a flash of the talent that Travis Etienne brings. Last year, as a true freshman, you just saw raw talent. This year, you see a little bit of a smarter player, a more aware player with vision and patience, a little bit more strength, and still has that explosiveness on the second level.
The self-proclaimed mama's boy who FaceTimes with his mom prior to every game. Imagine the next time they chat, be a whole lot of smiling going on. Travis Etienne, his second touchdown of the quarter. That goes for 29. Hugel, perfect, splits the uprights. And now more of a score that you would have expected coming in. Second-ranked Clemson on top of Duke, 28-6.
And Duke's just wearing down. I mean, they've had so many injuries. And then on that play before the touchdown to lose Ben Humphries, who is really the heart and soul of his defense. Looked like that left knee comes up. Gimpy didn't put any pressure on that knee coming off the field. And your heart breaks for guys like this. That Coach Cutt, when we were talking with him last night, the way that he describes this young man, he says he's smiling, caring, incredible person. That's about so much more than just football on the field. And you see the laundry list of injuries, and when you take the heart out of that defense, then you get Travis Etienne right up the middle.
Humphries has the C on his uniform, recognizing him as a captain and the leader. Not the best player on the defense, but the emotional leader of that unit, both on and off the field. 50 on Jackson can make a spark here, and he can't. Touchback. Take a look at our PlayStation Player Index. And Christian Wilkins has had just about the game you would expect. Senior from Springfield, Mass. Last week got to go home and beat up on Boston College. He likes to have a good time. He's a huge fan of the Power Rangers. That's Christian in the white, by the way. Dexter in the pink.
Thanks, I figured that one out.
That's Cleland Furl in the green. I'm only going to say this one more time. Cleland Furl, he wants his last name. Just telling people this week, apparently, nationally anyway, like his last name pronounced Furl.
That poor costume on Dexter.
A little too snug? Woo.
I'm glad he went with the pink, though, you know. It's Isaiah Simmons over there on the sideline. Looked like he might be cramping up, grabbing the toes.
You got UCF in the top four, Grease?
No.
Got it. This is serious stuff with Ben Humphries. And you can see the frustration, just how upset he is. He is a senior from Newport Beach, California, and being carted off. We're going to speculate as to the injury. They do have a bowl game in their future. With any luck, he'll be able to get back for that.
Yeah, you know, Steve, I get to this time of year, and I watch all these teams, and a lot of these seniors, graduate, players. A lot of these guys are playing their last snaps,
right,
of their lives, and it's emotional. And we don't know what happened to Ben Humphries, but certainly not going to play the rest of this game. Who knows about next week? But these snaps and games are precious for these young men, and it's hard. You feel for them in that situation.
And it is, it is 1% of 1%. They're going to play in the league and play on Sundays. And look, teams like Clemson, they're gifted. They probably might have 10 guys, maybe. Alabama, maybe 10 guys out of a class. But for everybody else in college football, it's it's a small handful of players.
Well, and this is a rough game. It's a tough game. And just tonight, we've seen two guys that were underrated coming out of high school, and a Hunter Renfrow and a Ben Humphries, right? But both of them were the heart and soul of their teams. They got hurt tonight in this game, and you hope that they're not hurt too serious, but these opportunities are precious.
And all we've gotten on Hunter Renfrow, you can be sure that we would give you everything we heard. All we heard is that he will not return. And that's tonight. Daniel Jones will be dropped at the 30-yard line. Take your pick. Furrow, Lawrence, Wilkins. That time it's Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of answers for Duke, because you got to throw the ball to get back in this game, and your offensive line is way overmatched. Wallaball, the center, I know he was a transfer from Ohio State, but he is no match for number 42 in purple or number 90. Either one is going to get to the quarterback.
And the punt from Austin Parker. Amari Rodgers, excellent punt. Rodgers drifting back to the 15. And he'll be stopped at the 21-yard line. It's a 53-yard punt. Talking about the draft, and again, Todd has Dexter 6th, and Wilkins 8th.
Dexter, I think we see this year that he's just a little bit quicker. He wasn't healthy. He was basically playing on 1 foot last year. And the sack production has not been there this year, but he's been very consistent with pressures. And that's so important in the NFL, being able to get after the quarterback and help in that regard. So he has the greatest upside. Wilkins probably has the least upside, but is most complete player now. And Furl is clearly the best edge rusher of this group, and he's going to be a top 20 pick.
Tavian Feaster. I think Dabo was surprised last year that everybody came back. He thought he was going to lose a couple guys last year.
And so was everyone.
Todd,
so were NFL teams that were expecting and wanting a pass rusher.
Todd, have you ever seen a defensive line group that's been this good, this highly rated going into the draft?
You know, NC State had a group a few years ago with McCargo and Williams and those guys that were really good, but not to this level. I mean, we're talking potentially 3 top 15 draft picks, and it's so rare.
Here's Feaster spinning away, and speaking about that defense, we asked Brent Venables about it, and he said next year it's demoralizing. I'm thinking about early retirement. I mean, Venables is one of the great defensive coordinators, one of the most highly compensated defensive coordinators in the country, and so this recruiting class would be very important at that position.
No question. He's going to lose not just the starters, but a bunch of the reserves.
Lawrence will spin out of trouble. Trying to get the edge. Down the sideline. Trevor Lawrence puts a foot in the turf.
And this is the X factor. 6'6", can throw it down the field, but he also brings this element. Play breaks down, now makes something happen. Now he gets out here to the outside, and his teammates are going to give him a hard time right here. I'm not sure why he just ran out of bounds.
19-yard gain, probably should have been 29.
He'll hear about it.
Just across midfield now. He's running some more. Running right and throwing left. Wide open, and it was dropped. Amari Rodgers. They've taken turns dropping Lawrence passes tonight.
I tell you what, remember last year, the beginning of the year, Deion Kane and others, they had a really hard job catching the football. A lot of drops. And tonight, it's reared its ugly head again. We've seen time to time big plays down the field with Overton, and now Rodgers dropping the football. That will be addressed in the meeting room tomorrow, no question.
Kendrick dropped the touchdown pass. Feaster on a little shovel. Back to the line of scrimmage. Final 20 seconds of the third quarter.
Here, take it. This was the one you mentioned with Kendrick, which would have been a clear touchdown. ETN has had his turn, and now Rodgers.
Yeah, Galloway had that big throw. Wow, that was a good defensive play there too. That winds up being the last play of the third quarter. Clemson up 28-6 to the fourth we go. College football is brought to you by Hampton by Hilton. With more than 2,400 locations, you can follow your team anywhere. I think I saw McShay in the background there. There are so many Hamptons in this part of the country, it's possible for some people to try to check into the wrong one.
What do you mean, McShay?
On occasion. Happened to be Todd this time, but it could have been us some other time.
Getting a good track record.
Hey, they got a lot of hotels, a lot of great places to stay. And we've stayed at all of them. Adam Choice lowers the shoulder and the boom for a first down.
Ah, big time. Lummy Young coming up. Watch this hit in real speed. Statement run by Choice.
5'9", 220, and a whole ball of hate coming at you. That's a business decision by the defense. His first rush of the night. On the ground, it's Choice again. Who wants a piece of him this time? The bowling ball's coming the other way. The Duke defense very happy. He stumbled down all by himself.
I think you're going to see this from Clemson throughout the rest of this game. This offensive line and the running game. Primarily want to run this clock out, get out of this game with a victory, stay as healthy as possible, and give Dabo Swinney credit. The first half was ugly. Probably went in at halftime, had a stern conversation. They came out ready to play in the second half.
Second down and 2. Lawrence will keep it. Trying to avoid some contact there. Run out of bounds by Leonard Johnson.
We've seen Trevor Lawrence learning on the job with respect to his health and running the football, right? You go back to that Syracuse game, he didn't get out of bounds. He got hurt, wasn't able to finish that game, and it was up to Chase Bryce, who played really well in relief and saved the season, if you will, for Clemson against Syracuse. But Trevor Lawrence has had to learn how to manage situations. Get down when it's time to get down, get yards when they're there, but protect your health.
Third down and 3. Barnes will option it to Choice, and he's going to come up short of the marker. Marquise Waters wrapped him up, fine tackle, and it's 4th down.
Really nice play from Waters there. And no hesitation from Dabo Swinney. They're going to bring in Garrett Williams, a tight end, for a 2 tight end set here. And the way that Choice has been running the ball physically, I agree with this.
Garrett Williams honored today, an academic senior. He'll either be back or he'll be in the Marines come next season. 4th down and 1. On the ground with Choice, and they're pushing the pile for the first down. That Syracuse game might look as the turning point of the season. With everything that was going on around this team.
Steve, you want to take a look at Gage Cervenka right here. That's the reason why he's starting now at that right guard position. Just gets low center of gravity and comes off and drives the defender off the ball. That's why he's playing more on this offensive line.
Kendrick. Choice to shovel it to Kendrick for a few. That September 29th game, think about what was going on around these parts, right? Kelly Bryant is demoted. Trevor Lawrence comes in against Syracuse. Takes a big shot in the second quarter right there. And the redshirt freshman Chase Bryce comes in to lead Clemson back from a 10-point fourth-quarter deficit to win 27-23. Dabo said 95% of teams lose that football game. This team won that game.
You're right, and every championship season has a turning point, you know, and that's certainly if Clemson is able to continue on like we think they will and get to that college football playoff, they'll look back. And Chase Bryce has played an integral role in that. And Dabo Swinney said to us yesterday, they came into the season with 2 quarterbacks that they really felt good about, obviously, in Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. They found out that Chase Bryce is a football player.
Yeah. Dabo said he's going to be the 5th-year senior. Everybody said, where have you been hiding this guy all this time? Well, Chase Bryce has his turn. On 3rd and 7. Lawrence throwing. And it's knocked away. Travion Thompson couldn't haul it in. Leonard Johnson on the coverage. There is a flag.
Holding. Defense number 33. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Leonard Johnson. Flag for the hold. Can kind of tell how hard you played tonight if you're Duke. They're wearing those white uniforms.
Right.
Whole lot of grass stains.
No, they can hold their head up high. They have played with effort tonight. They have not backed down. They have not been as talented, and we knew that. but they have not shied away from the physicality of this game on either offense or defense.
And again, if you're just joining us, they are playing without their 4 best defensive players tonight. And then their emotional leader, Ben Humphries, goes out. And then Brandon Hill was ejected. Throwing for the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. It's T.J. Chase. And Clemson will tack on another score. That's 3 consecutive touchdowns by Clemson, 4 in their last 5 possessions. They've figured things out.
Right, and they only had a touchdown in their first 7 possessions, so.
Extra point is through.
I think you saw some adversity in the first half for Trevor Lawrence. And now in the second half, he has found his rhythm. A great throw, accurate to T.J. Chase on the move.
Bring him out. All these extra snaps.
Because he's the one going to Dabo and saying, hey, I want to do this. Put me on that. Put me on the short yardage of goal line like the fridge. Give me all. He wants to play as many snaps as he possibly can. He's still doing the Power Ranger dances over there.
Having a good time. And, of course, he is the first ever, as Dabo said it, 2-time curtain call. Got to be honored last season. They weren't sure if he'd be returning again. They honor the seniors, those academic seniors, not based on how many years of football you have left of eligibility. There's Deion Jackson. Then he got honored again tonight. Got a feeling they're going to honor him at the next level, too.
Well, you know, how you compete and the motor that you have is so important. So many positions, especially defensive line. And listen, he's of the 3 first-rounders we talked about with Furl and Dexter Lawrence, he's the least talented of the group. But it's all those little things that he does and the energy that he brings that makes him so attractive to NFL teams.
And so durable, guys. His 41st career game starting tonight. That is the most ever by a Clemson defensive tackle. As Deion Jackson is met right in the middle. Chris Register, welcome to the score sheet. He gets a tackle, the graduate student.
I still remember when Christian Wilkins burst onto the scene, right? It was that fake punt, right, in the bowl game several years back. And everybody's like, no way that was a defensive tackle that just caught that ball on a fake punt. But we have been really fortunate, you know, in college football to have a person like Christian Wilkins. Such a great player, great personality. We're going to miss him in college football. There's no question.
He's so entertaining to watch on and off the field. Jake Bobo records a catch. Denzel Johnson makes the stop for Clemson.
You see number 67 there, Albert Huggins, running into the football game, and he's been overshadowed by Dexter Lawrence and by Christian Wilkins. But I think Albert Huggins is an NFL defensive lineman. That's how good this guy is, and nobody talks about him. But let's watch him here in the 4th quarter and see how he dominates.
On a 3rd down and 11. Duke's running the football. Deion Jackson for a yard. We'll bring up a 4th down and forever.
And that's the point you were making, that in this front 7 for Clemson, they've got 8 or 9 seniors that will not be coming back next year. So it's going to be a complete rebuild defensively. They've got talent, yes, but they won't have experience on that front 7. And so the work will be cut out for this coaching staff on the defensive side next year.
10th punt of the night upcoming for Austin Parker. With Amari Rodgers back deep. Rodgers at the 26, a fair catch. 8:20 to go here in the 4th. It's all Clemson, and the party on senior night is well underway.
ESPN College Football is presented by Hampton by Hilton. For the best price guaranteed, book at Hampton.com. And in part by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
So it started as a love fest, lots of hugs, kisses, and I'm proud of you, and pats on the backside. And then Clemson found themselves in a football game. They were trailing 6-0 to Duke. And then in the end, things are going to work out just fine for the number 2 team in the land. And their number 2 quarterback, Chase Bryce, is in the game for Clemson. On the ground, a Tavian Feaster. Take a look at today's unexpected outcome. Brought to you by Exxon Mobil. You saw the defensive linemen, they were dancing it up on the sideline over the years. Dabo has shown some of the moves. I mean, it's easy when you're winning all the time, right?
Right.
But the unexpected part might have been this. This is David Cutcliffe. Oh, with some staff members.
Little James Brown?
Yeah.
That was last week.
I feel good. Let's slow this down. This is after beating North Carolina for the 3rd consecutive year. Coach Cut getting loose a little bit last week.
I don't think that was. I think that was get up off of that thing. Was that?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I was just saying I feel good.
Oh, you feel good. You feel good.
David Cutcliffe, when he got back to his hotel room last night, he and his wife, waiting for them was a nice gift basket from the Sweeney family. Dabo and his wife very close with Coach Cutcliffe and his wife. Chris Lowe from ESPN.com is covering the game here tonight. He had that little gem of a nugget. So much respect for the two that both really started at Alabama.
Yeah, no, both have Alabama roots. And going back to Gene Stallings, who was a mentor to both of these men. And they've been together here in the ACC for the past 10 years, each of them, and developed a really nice relationship. It's gone back a long ways, over 20 years. And these are two of the best that we have in college football. Two of the best coaches, two of the best men and leaders of men that we have. And I'm really happy to know that they kind of lean on each other from time to time.
Carson King was about to get an opportunity to punt it away. Redshirt junior from Nashville.
False start. Offense number 43. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Yeah, they wore out Will Spires. He punted 7 times in the first half. So try Carson King's leg on for size.
All right. I hear you, but I also think he wants to see what this young kid has, because he has not been happy with Spires. And so why not take an opportunity here in the 4th quarter to see what the young kid's got?
Imagine that kind of luxury. Hey, what's wrong with your team? We'll figure out the punting situation.
And a nice punt.
Everything else is so good. Carson King. Last one, a TJ ramming.
And make a note, Levy.
It's a 49-yard punt.
See 97 in the next month. You'll know why.
Maybe we'll see him next week when arch rival South Carolina comes to town.
How did Dabo like that punt?
It's a nice life when punting's your only problem as a football coach. Tonight coming up after Arizona-Washington State, which should be an interesting football game. Sports Center with Zubin. One name only necessary. There are a million John Andersons. Zubin and John Anderson will have Sports Center for you. And wrapping up the night in college football, all the NBA action as well. The Lakers fell tonight to the Magic. And an inside look at the Warriors offense without Steph Curry. Quentin Harris has checked in as quarterback for Duke.
It's the right move. Daniel Jones played his heart out tonight. He was getting hit on nearly every down and limping around, not able to move and protect himself. You still got a big game next week against Wake and a bowl game. Protect your quarterback.
There's Harris on the run. It will split defenders. And he has 1st down yardage.
Man, he came right up the back of that receiver.
It's Trayvon Lee.
Oh, man.
No, it's Philly Johnson.
Yeah, Philly Johnson. Man, got bent back. Good to see him able to run off the field.
Had a lot of injuries tonight. It's been a hard-hitting affair. Saw Harris in this game earlier. Came in to get a 1st down run. Now he's back at quarterback. 6 minutes to go in the 4th. Mateo Durant gets the carry, the freshman. Mentioned Steph Curry, how the Warriors are dealing without him. That is Matt Guerrieri, the defensive coordinator. We should say congratulations. He was engaged this past summer to Alexandra Thompson, who was the guard for the Davidson women's basketball team. At the same time, Steph was running the show for the men's basketball team. How about that?
That's cool. Hey, friends?
Friends? Yes, they were invited to Steph's wedding. Steph will be invited to theirs. Very nice. Imagine the wedding gift Steph Curry could bring.
Where was the wedding?
Check.
Is that on the card?
Why don't you just read the card? No, it's not on the card.
Okay.
Do you know?
No, I don't.
Steph is day-to-day with a patellar bruise. By the way, injured
That's pretty cool.
a few days ago.
Of course, that's where your mind went, Levy.
What, the card or the gift? Hey, that's one reason to invite. You get two reasons to invite Steph Curry to your wedding, right? It'd be cool.
Oh, that was the first one?
Be cool. He's my best man, Steph Curry.
I'm glad I'm already married, so I have to invite you to my wedding.
I give good wedding gifts. Candlesticks are nice, I understand. Here's Quentin Harris. And he's rocked right at midfield.
Oh, gosh. Somebody tell Quentin Harris to go down feet first, please.
That's Xavier Kelly.
Xavier Kelly.
Take a look at this backup defense for the Clemson Tigers. Those guys don't look like backups, do they? You look at guys like Albert Huggins, number 3.
Xavier Thomas,
Xavier Thomas.
They think he's the next one.
Really excited about, Register.
No, their second team would start on half the programs in the country.
Yep.
Austin Parker is back to punt. He's punted 46 times this season prior to tonight. And this will be punt number 10 for Parker. That'll bounce out of bounds at about the 6. We'll step away. 4.5 to go. It's all Clemson tonight. Todd's made some new best friends. Military Appreciation Night here at Clemson's. We welcome you back to college football on ESPN, presented by Hampton by Hilton. As we take a look, this week's college football rankings brought to you by Goodyear. So Alabama held on, beat the Citadel. That could be in 10-10 at halftime. You got your shake-up of the top 10 anyway as West Virginia goes down in Stillwater.
Yeah, I don't know that was that much of a surprise, to be honest with you. We did that game last week, the Bedlam game, and see Chase Price gets a run. And Oklahoma State, they've got talent. You know, they could play with any team in the Big 12 on any given Saturday.
I feel like they've been the most inconsistent of all the teams in the country. They've won probably 2 or 3 you didn't expect them to win. They've lost that same 2 or 3 games you think they should have won. Probably deserve better fate. Life in the crazy Big 12. We approach 4 minutes to play here in the 4th. Jay Dixon turning the edge. Here's Adnan. Yeah, he's going to take a lot of extra bases for sure, Adnan. Thank you. On 1st down and 10, Lynn J. Dixon. Clemson just keeps rolling out new skill position players. It's amazing.
Well, it's the credit to the culture that Dabo's built here.
Yes.
We were talking with him about that yesterday. You know, the culture of when you commit, take a commit, when you make a commitment to a player. He's not a big fan of these early kind of offers to freshmen and sophomores. He wants to wait to see how these young players develop through high school, and he won't make an offer to them until they get to their junior or senior year. The only exception is Dabo has he can make a selection as a freshman or a sophomore, but only him. Only he can make the offer, not an assistant coach. And he's only done it a couple of times.
Yeah, a couple of Venables have benefited from that.
A couple of Venables, but also Deshaun Watson was one, and Trevor Lawrence was one. So, but I think it's the right approach, and he's patient about it. He's intentional. He doesn't have these offers that are uncommittable, if you will. If he makes an offer, he wants you to know it's for him to come to this program.
Football comes out, and Chase Bryce recovers it. And that's the way things are going for Clemson. It's a gain of 13. In the first half, Duke would have picked that up and run it back for a score. But in the second half, it's been all Clemson.
They're going to slow it down here and milk the rest of this clock.
Grease, they've just brought in Darian Rencher now, a running back. 6 different running backs they've used here tonight. Clock will wind under 2 minutes. Speaking of, early commitments, see Lane Kiffin offered an 11-year-old a scholarship.
Come on.
I'm not even kidding. It's Matt Leinart's son.
Oh.
Really did. So there's the other end of the spectrum, too, right?
Didn't he do the same thing with David Stills?
Yes. He was 13.
Oh, he was 13.
Much older.
It's getting worse.
Much older. Dabo said, I refuse to meet with a 9th grader. 9th grader sounds much younger than a freshman in high school.
Well, it was interesting, when Trevor Lawrence came, Brandon Streeter, the quarterback coach, said, listen, coach, I need you to visit with this kid and his family. And they were having a camp while they were on campus, but Trevor Lawrence wasn't even in the camp. He was just visiting, and Streeter said, I need you to meet with him. And the kid's in 9th grade, and Dabo said, I'm not meeting with him. But then Streeter, very smart, says, well, he's already been in Nick Saban's office, he's been in Les Miles' office, and so Dabo relents and said, okay, well,
fine, I'll give him 5 minutes.
5 minutes, but I'm not offering him.
Right.
And I think that Trevor Lawrence appreciated the honesty from Dabo Swinney in that meeting, where he told him, listen, I need to see you develop. I need to see you grow. I want to see you play.
And I want to know what you're all about as a person, and what your family is like. As Dabo says, the gates to Clemson, he wants them to be narrow. Got to check a whole lot of boxes. 53 ticks left. Nine on the ground. Is this 7, Ben, the 7th running back? This is Ryan McClain, Grease. What do you got on Ryan McClain?
He must be a senior, and it's senior day.
Yes. Senior from Plymouth, Indiana.
There you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Get you a rush.
Say you played football at Clemson, right?
Well,
absolutely.
Here's what happens. These guys come to these schools, they walk on, and they service these teams for 4 years.
Scout team.
Yeah, scout team. And so, absolutely, get them in the game. It's their last opportunity. Get them a rush.
Dabo's got a lot of this figured out. Yep. Darian Rencher, the ball carrier. And that senior class will win their 51st game. That is the most in conference history. Only a couple of Alabama classes have won 51 or more games. Simply amazing. A few hours ago, Duke had a 6-0 lead. 35 unanswered by Clemson in a no doubt about it kind of second half. Tigers have made their point. Down to Todd McShay with Dabo.
Coach, we talked about the first half struggles on offense. Got things figured out in the second half. What was the difference?
Well, we got the run game going, and we were better on 3rd down. We didn't run the ball very well first and second down. That hurt us on 3rd down. But we got it going, settled in. Guys accepted the challenge at halftime. Still, we're inconsistent. We dropped too many balls tonight, but hey, really proud of the guys coming out and doing what we need to do in the second half.
Senior night, 51st win for this class. Sets a record, school record and ACC record. What's this win mean to you?
Well, it's special because I know it means a lot to our guys. These guys have been here 4 and 5 years, and to be the only group that can say they've won 51 games in 4 years, that's something they'll remember the rest of their lives, and they deserve it because they've been an amazing group of young people. For me to be able to come to work with these guys, they've made my job easy.
bunch of great young men that just happen to be good football players, and they have led this football team all the way since last January. So my hat's off to them. I'm happy for them. And we're 11-0. Still got more work to do. Congratulations, Coach. Appreciate it.
1948, 1981, 2015, and 2018. For the fourth time, Clemson starts 11-0. The final score, Duke had a 6-0 lead. Clemson scores 35 unanswered. For producer Josh Hoffman, director Mike Schwab, my guys Brian Greasy and Todd McShay, I'm Steve Levy. Wishing everybody a happy, happy Thanksgiving. We send you back to Adnan, Joey, Jess. Fellas, take it away. Death Valley.